And how you going, guys, and welcome back to another stream here with the F-100D Super Saber ground tutorial. Moving on from the last video, just the real quick history lesson and cockpit tutorial. So the tutorials are going to represent some sort of just familiarization of the aircraft. I suspect you guys have already flown this, but if you are getting brand new into it and there's just some things that you didn't pick up or haven't picked up or want some clarity from another person, that's these videos for you. But I'm assuming you guys know how to fly it. If you don't, then welcome to the F-100 Saber, and I hope my videos help you in the future. Anyways, so today we're going to do the cold start and aircraft preparation. There's two ways of starting the aircraft. There's the pneumatic airway with the air start generator and that, and there's also the cartridge start. Now there's two ways of setting up the cartridge start. You can do that in the mission editor, or you can do it in the radio. But today we're going to do the air start, and in other tutorials I might do the other. I might do a real quick one with the cartridge start. But anyways, we're here on the deck. When you get to the Super Saber, when you drive out to your plane, first off you need to do your inspection. So when you do your exterior inspection here, you're going to want to come around from the front of the aircraft and look through the intakes, looking through your pitot, all the cameras, your guns, make sure there's nothing in there. Looking under your landing gear, your nose gear there, making sure that there are no punctures, everything's clear, the wheels can go inside, making sure your air refueling probe is clear of any debris, checking any missiles or anything like that that are attached. Hopefully you don't have to do it, but anyways, it's there. Just doing all your general safety checks. All your ground crew guys should be doing everything with the other stuff, but at least you've got a sound of mind of what's happening. Checking all your lights, checking all your flaps and ailerons, all that sort of stuff, and checking your tailplane, rudder, all that lovely stuff there. And going around and checking up in the intake, make sure there's no squirrels in there, and around again for the other side of the aircraft, and then back in. Once you get back to the cockpit, then it's time to jump in, shake hands, salute your ground crew, and jump on into the cockpit. So once we're in the cockpit here, guys, we can finally get ready to start the aircraft. Now, this is not going to be a full-blown start. Now, you can go through the normal procedures. Now, this is from a website that I've used, and I'll post that down in the comment, down in the description of the video. And this is going through all the different parameters of the aircraft and what you're looking for. So, takeoff and loading data cards. Make sure that's all in there. Your checklist, your entrances, and all that stuff. You want to check the Form 781 check. That is, I don't actually have a photo of that form, but if you go to Reflected Simulations YouTube channel, he actually has one in one of his videos. I just didn't get it in time. But it is a form, it's like a maintenance form of the aircraft. So definitely check that. Cross-reference everything, your serial numbers, all that sort of stuff. Check all electricals are turned off. So if we just center this, so checking that everything is turned off. We got our mode selectors, bombs set for safe and off, selecting making sure that our missile master is in the off position, checking the camera is in the off position, checking the radios in the off position, and all of the red guards here up here are in the off position. The air start is in the off position and guarded, and your engine master is up and in the off position, not forward position, off position. Making sure your landing gear handle is down, coming across, making sure that your batteries are on the off position. The only things that should be in your on position is your generators, your DC and AC generators there. Making sure that your standby inverter is in the off position, guard down. TACAN in the off position, and your IFF in the off position as well. All your lights, you can set where you prefer them in the dim and in the off position, and all other switches in the off position, and your defogs are down in the off position. And then at the back you have your fuel pump in the DC position with your microphone intercom in the off position. Okay, so we've just gone through that, so you can see there number 5, armament positions is off or safe. Selections is in safe. Check all circuit breakers. All circuit breakers must be in except for this last one out here, which is popped out, which will be your air bleed emergency. Oxygen safety check. So you want to double check your oxygen over here. You want to move the oxygen to 100%. You want to turn the oxygen on. You want to see that the airflow is going. If you see the white blinker, that means the airflow is moving. You want to turn that off and make sure that it is no longer leaking. You want to make sure that you have exactly a minimum of 4.2 liquids. Some pilots in the past had around about 2 to 3 in their aircraft when they were flying. But yeah, so for us in DCS, we should always have between 4 and 5 of our oxygen. You want to check the map case, make sure that all publications are in the aeroplane. Okay, which is right here. I don't think we can check any of that, so nope. So make sure that everything that we're going to be using in the aircraft is there. Okay, now we'll move up. We have done the exterior inspection. We would have done all of those little bits and pieces. Now we get into the, we don't have a rear cockpit in this aircraft, so we're going to go ahead and skip the inspection sites and all of that lovely stuff. Alright, so we've done the left hand side. We're making sure that the speed brake here is not forward or aft. We just want to make it sure that it's in the center just there, so it's locked. Making sure outside that the speed brake does not come down, and it's all good. Emergency ram lever closed. Wing handle lever wing flap handle is intermediate for cocking, so you want to come down here and we go intermediate. Throttle is turned off and it is inboard, so it's inboard towards us, and speed brake is in the center in the off position. The UHF control is in the off position. Ground fire safety switch, which is over here, which has a pin in it. That is an override pin, so you want to make sure that pin is in and it is off, so you can't fire any things. Yeah, any skid is in the off position. Fuel generator regulator switch is in the normal. Drop tank selector as required. We do have drop tanks on the intern, and we can definitely double check that on our selectors. So our selectors is fuel tanks on 2, and if we open that, our intern is set for 2 and 2, and the other ones are set for 1 and 1, so we don't have any on the outboard, and on the inboard we have set for 7, which is missiles. So you want to double check those just in case. Alright, if you have the automatic one set, it should automatically be there. If it's not automatic, if you have that turned off in your specials, you'll have to make sure and visually check where they are. So you get your outboard, your intermediate, and your inboard pylons, left and right wing. You'll have to do them yourself. You'll need to make sure your air refueling switch is in the off and guarded position. Where is that? The air refueling switch is in the off position. Sorry, not in the guarded position. Air refueling switch. I was saying air start. G limiter in the guard position and on. Air start switch. Sorry, there you go. Air start switch is in the off and guarded position. Engine master switch is in the on and guarded position. You can just click the red, and it will flick it on for you as well, as you can see there. So that is the engine master switch. Fuel system shut off switch is on. Where is that? The fuel. That's the fuel regulator in the normal, and you want to have the fuel system start off switch. Satisfied on. Landing gear handle down. All right. Landing gear handle is down. Landing and taxi light switch is in the off position, which is down. And then in the up front, you want to make sure that the mechanical gauge, the sight, is in cage, which is that little lever there. So make sure that is caged. Trigger safety switch camera. Gun missile switch is in safe. The clock set and running test watch. So you just want to double check to make sure that the clocks are working. And reset. Cool. Alright, so that's those things. You want to have a look down here is your foot warmer. You can turn it on or off as desired. Making sure your AC and DC generators are on and guarded. Your standby instrument inverter switch is in the off position. Your interphone is set as required. Your nav aids are all select off. And your IFF is set for standby, so right click to the right there. Aims controls as required. The J4 directional indicator, which is here, is set to mag, which is that there. We'll show you in another video how to reset and compensate for directional drift. Your pitot heat is on. For the F-100 F-20 airplanes, yep, as required. We're going to have it off for now, and then your the anti-switch is in the auto position. So your left, your glide vance anti-auto, anti-ice is in the auto, and your wind shear exterior is off. Cockpit pressurization selector as desired. So down here is your cockpit pressurization control. So most flights will be 2.75, sometimes 500 psi, but we'll be just running 2.75 for most of the flights. If you go up, it's going to dump all atmosphere in the aircraft and depressurize it. Apart from that, that's all that sort of stuff sorted. Where are we? Yep, that one's that. Cockpit pressure is, yep, cockpit and bleed air switch emergency set to normal, and we have the circuit breaker out. Console airflow lever knobs as desired. Most flights you'll want to bring these to the forward position just a little bit, just to keep the heat from letting the cockpit fog up on takeoff. And then the RC controls off and standby, and your emergency hydraulic pumps. Your liquid quantity gauge check 4 liters minimum, which is your oxygen. We're well and truly over 4 liters. Diluted level to 100%. Breathe normally, and all of that sort of stuff. So we're going to quickly skip through all of these ones. If you really want to go through all of this, definitely go through on Reflected's channel, but we're just going to continue on with the start. Okay, so to start this aircraft, I'm going to, for this purpose of the I'm going to run through the aircraft without sorry, correction. I'm just trying to think of something. We're just going to close the cockpit so it's not really noisy. Hang on a sec. I'm just going to do one real quick thing here. And why is that not working? One little thing. I don't know why it's not working. I would have thought it would. There we go. My bad. All right, let's continue. Oh, that's yeah, not good. Just didn't have any sound for some reason. All right, so we're going to go through the electrical power. So we'll do this without the checklist, and then we'll have a look at the checklist. Okay, so we're going to call ground crew. So ground crew electrical power is
Chief, turn on the ground power.
Let them turn that on.
Copy. Ground power is now on.
All right. The aircraft now has power. First things we're going to do is check the light in the dim position. You can also check in the bright position just to double check to make sure all the lights are working. You can click on every single one of these lights, sorry about that, to get rid of the master caution light. Make sure there's no lights up the top. Down here we're going to do the fire detection test. Make sure that we got fire detection just above the G meter, and then the any warning signs coming from the landing gear, just to make sure that you press that. There shouldn't be any, but just in case there was. Alright, we are not going to turn the battery on just yet. We don't want to drain the battery while we're doing other checks. But we will turn the inverter on. But before we turn the inverter on, we have the battery sorted. I'm just going to sit myself up, sorry about that. And I'm going to press the brakes and listen for a sound. Can you hear that sound? So that sound there, I don't know if it showed up in the video, but you can hear a sound. It's like a grrr sound. That is the pumps working on your brakes, your hydraulic pumps. Okay, now we're going to turn the inverter on. It's like an APU, similar, but not really. It's just heating up all the lights. So all these lights will go out in roughly a minute. But anyways, that's cool. Right, so apart from that, we can do other checks, all that sort of stuff. We can get the air power started as well. So we go ground crew. We request the ground air supply. We connect.
Chief, connect ground air supply. Copy.
So we connect the ground air supply.
Is now connected.
And as you would have seen in the ground crew as well, you've got the starter cartridge. Now I already have one set up through the emission editor, but if you do not have it, you can get them to do it on the ground, which is really, really good. But anyways, we're pretty much good to go. Now, we're going to leave everything else turned off. We are going to turn on the lights to flash, and during the day, we could probably do dim. Or if you want to do bright, you can do bright. Get those lights flashing. Let everyone know we're about to start up. And you can do the top and bottom beacon lights as well. Once the aircraft started, we can turn them off. Just to let everyone know we're about to start. Okay, so to start, this is going to happen very quickly. So to start, we're going to go battery on, ask for air. Once the air is on, we're going to wait for the 12% RPM, hit the starter button, and then we're going to throw the throttle forward. Okay? So first off, we're going to ask for air. So ground crew, go for air supply, apply.
Chief, apply ground air supply.
Battery.
Copy. Air is now applied.
We are going to wait for the 12% on the RPM. Press and hold the starter button. Let that red light go. And once that creeps up towards 20, throttle in. Throttle to idle. And listen to that bad girl spool up. We're going to hold the starter button until 40 RPM. Alright. Some lights have started to go out, generators out. Click those, get rid of the master caution. The next few things that we're going to do is turn the radio on to both. And if you're going to have it on manual, leave it on manual. If you're going to have it on preset, leave it on preset. So I'm going to leave it on preset, turn that on. I'm going to go ahead and go ready for takeoff, wait for the green trimmed for takeoff light to come up, hold for about 3 seconds. Done. Come down here, we're going to turn the IFF to standby if it's not already on standby. It is. Come down here and turn the your compass on, radio compass, and just turn the volume down because it gets loud if you have a frequency already in there. Turn your TAC can on and set your TAC can for what you are. I'm at Nellis and I'm using TAC can 7 X-ray, which is the old TAC can that they had before they went to TAC can 12. So 07 is what they use now. We're going to make sure that our lights are bright and dim. We're going to do a lights test now that everything's up and going. Nothing's happening there. It's good. We're going to do a fuel test to make sure that our fuel quantity is there. Move our stick and we're going to have a look at our fuel down here. We're going to do the test for the fuel tanks on the outer side of our aircraft. So that's the external tanks fuel. And we are good with that. That is pretty much everything in a nutshell. We are not undercover or anything, so we can go ahead and remove our remove before flight tags, just like so. Once we're done with that, we're just going to let the aircraft settle, get the heat and temperature up on the things. We're going to turn the Thunderdome up with some instrument and console lighting as desired, whatever you wish. Turn the cockpit heat or cold up to whatever you're comfortable with, hot or a little bit cold. You want it as warm as you can stand in the cockpit because you don't want this fogging up on takeoff. Now, it's a simulator, it probably won't do that, but if they ever do implement the fogging up, you want to make this nice and warm, get this cockpit in a nice warm fashion. On a day like this out at Nevada, it's 41 degrees. Probably don't need it. You might want to have a bit of air conditioner, so it's probably not going to fog up, but if it did, you know why. Right, we can also set the pitot heat up, but we can do that in the taxi video as well. We're pretty much started up now. There's nothing more that you can really do here for a training flight. We're just going to go up, fly around, and then come back, but you can do a few other things that we will do in the prep on the next video. This is the startup, basically getting the aircraft going. The other way of starting up is using the the cartridge, which we'll do in the taxi video. We'll start the aircraft up real quickly in the taxi video and show you taxiing. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. I really hope this is an eye-opener video for you guys, just to get you started with some sort of idea of where things are in the aircraft, and I hope in the future you come to love this aircraft just as much as everyone else. This is not a scary aircraft. It is actually very fun to fly, and I absolutely love flying it with my friends. So hit me up and I'll take you for a fly if you need to. Alright guys, thank you very much for the watching, and I'll see you next time.